Pulses are seeds of plants belonging to the Leguminosae family. These are plants that house their seeds in double-seamed pods or legumes, that is peas, beans, lentils, soya beans, peanuts, chickpeas, etc. They are grown for human consumption and have been eaten for centuries all over the world. There are approximately 13,000 species. Some pulses are completely edible, but normally only the seeds or beans are eaten, either fresh or dried. A pulse, sometimes called a grain legume, is an annual leguminous crop yielding from 1 to 12 seeds of variable size, shape and color within a pod. Pulses are used for food for humans and other animals. Included in the pulses are dry beans like pinto beans, kidney beans and navy beans, dry peas, lentils and others. Economically, the family is second only to the grasses in importance. Legumes provide valuable and nutritive foods because the food stored for the embryo in the seed, for example the pea, is rich in protein. In many regions, especially where meat is scarce or expensive, legumes, notably peas, beans, lentils, peanuts, carob and soybeans are staples of the diet. The Fabaceae are equally important as fodder and forage plants. Clover, alfalfa, vetch, lupine, beggarweed, lespedeza, sainfoin and soybeans are among the numerous valuable types. These food and forage legumes are chief among the plants used as green manure. Nitrogen fixing bacteria dwelling in the nodules of the roots of most legumes fix free nitrogen from the air into the leguminous compounds needed by all forms of life for building proteins. Rotation of leguminous crops with non-leguminous crops has long been a standard agricultural practice. The soil is enriched when their roots are left to decay after harvesting. In many parts of the world, native species of the Leguminosae are of great importance locally, if not commercially. Often, every part of the plant finds some use. The pods and leaves for food, beverages and forage, the wood and stems for building purposes, fiber and household items, and the leaves, blossoms and bark for domestic remedies. The blossoms of many of the Leguminosae are excellent honey sources. Species that grow in arid climates are particularly valuable because of the scarcity of other fodder, food and timber crops. They are also important to wildlife for forage and cover. Native Americans have cultivated bean plants since antiquity and still rely on breadroot, redwood, mesquite and many other species for food and other products. Pulses are important food crops due to their high protein and essential amino acid content. Like many leguminous crops, pulses play a key role in crop rotation due to their ability to fix nitrogen. To support the awareness on this matter, the United Nations declared 2016 as the UN International Year of Pulses. Just like words such as bean and lentil, the word pulse may refer to just the seed or the entire plant. The FAO recognizes 11 primary pulses. First is the dry beans, that is belonging to the Phaseolus species, including several species now in Vigna: kidney bean, haricot bean, pinto bean, navy bean, that is Phaseolus vulgaris, lima bean, butter bean, that is Phaseolus lunatus, azuki bean and adzuki bean, that is Vigna angularis, moong bean, golden gram, green gram, that is Vigna radiata, rice bean which is Vigna umbellata, moth bean which is Vigna aconitifolia, tepary bean which is Phaseolus acutifolius. The next category is the dry broad beans which is Vicia faba. First is the horse bean which is Vicia faba equina. Next comes the broad bean Vicia faba and field bean which is also Vicia faba. The third variety is the dry peas which is belonging to the Pisum species. Garden pea Pisum sativum variety sativum, protein pea which is Pisum sativum variety arvens. Fourth is the chickpea Garbanzo Bengal gram which is Sycur arietinum. Fifth is dry cowpea, black-eyed pea, black-eye bean which is Vigna ungulicutula. Next is the pigeon pea, arhar, tur, kajan pea, Congo bean, gandules which is Cajanus cajan, and lentil which is Lens culinaris. Next is the Bambara groundnut, earth pea which is Vigna subterranea, vetch, common vetch which is Vicia sativa. Next is the lupins which belongs to the lupinus species, and next comes the minor pulses including lablab, hyacinth bean which is called as lablab purpureus, the jack bean that is Canavalia ensiformis, sword bean which is Canavalia gladiata, winged bean which is Sophocarpus terragonolobus, velvet bean and covich that is Mucuna pruriens variety utilis, and yam bean which is Pachyrhizis erosus. Pulses are included in the most important nutritional crops in the world. They are important ingredients for a great many different cold and hot dishes. Pulses are available in various forms and can be divided into race varieties. Take for example, two varieties of brown beans, that is the small round bullet beans, remain whole when cooked and are suitable for dishes when whole bones are required. The larger elongated beans which break down during cooking are excellent for brown bean soup. Pulses can be used in the following ways: in cold starters, for example lentil salad, in soups, for example pea soup, in main course dishes such as cassoulet or chili con carne, in vegetarian dishes and also as a garnish. Now next, coming to the nutrient rich pulses. Pulses provide protein, complex carbohydrates and several vitamins and minerals. Like other plant-based foods, they contain no cholesterol and little fat or sodium. Pulses also provide iron, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc and other minerals which play a variety of roles in maintaining good health. Now coming to the protein content of pulses. Pulses are 20 to 25% protein by weight, which is double the protein content of wheat and 3 times that of rice. While pulses are generally high in protein and the digestibility of that protein is also high, they are often relatively poor in the essential amino acid methionine. Grains, which are themselves deficient in lysine, are commonly consumed along with pulses to form a complete diet of protein. Indian cuisine also includes sesame seeds which contain high levels of methionine. Now coming to the health benefits. Pulses have significant nutritional and health advantages for consumers. They are the most important dietary predictor of survival in older people of different ethnicities, and in the 7-country study, legume consumption was highly correlated with a reduced mortality from coronary heart disease. Furthermore, Pulses are especially high in amylose starch, making them a good source of prebiotic resistant starch. In the diabetic diet, that is for people with diabetes, consuming lentils, peas and beans helps with blood glucose management. Compared with some other carbohydrate sources, pulses have a lower glycemic index. Studies have also shown that consuming pulses can result in more stable blood glucose level after meals. Next is the weight management diet. Although more research is needed in this direction, consuming pulses can help with weight management. For people trying to lose weight, pulses are high in fiber and protein, low in fat and moderate in calories. 1 cup of cooked lentils or dry peas contains about half of the daily fiber recommendation for adults. Foods higher in fiber content usually help people feel full or satiated at mealtime. Pulses can be divided into 3 main groups, which in turn can be subdivided according to their race. Peas such as green or yellow peas, split peas, marrow-fat peas or chickpeas. Beans such as brown beans, white and black beans, lima beans, kidney mung or flageolet beans. Lentils such as peeled or unpeeled, red, brown, yellow and green lentils. Now next is the physical condition of pulses. A division is made in pulses between dried pulses, pre-prepared pulses which are sold as preserves, dried or frozen. First, coming to the dried pulses. Check when buying pulses that there are not too many broken seeds. When buying in bulk, a sample should be taken. From this sample, a cooking trial should be done and the following points should be carefully noted, such as the flavor, toughness of the skin and the cooking time. Now next, coming to pre-prepared pulses. By preserving pulses, the storage time and preparation time can be reduced. Examples of pre-prepared pulses are in the dry form, pureed soups such as pea soup or brown bean soup, in tins or jars such as the tinned brown beans, marrow-fat peas in jars, that is the pasteurized or unpasteurized, and the deep frozen, which consists of loosely frozen peas or beans. Now coming to the products made from a basis of pulses. A distinction has been made between convenience products, meat replacement products and various other products. Firstly, coming to convenience products. Since pulses are so suitable for preparation in advance, there are many convenience products on the market. Examples of these are ready to heat and eat meals such as chili con carne or marrow-fat peas with bacon and onions. Coming to the meat replacing products. Soya beans are the most versatile of all the pulses. From soya beans, the following meat replacement products are made, that is tempeh, tofu, also known as soya curds or taho, and soya meat. Tempeh is a fermented product made by the controlled fermentation of cooked soya beans with a rhizopus mold, that is a tempeh starter. Rhizopus mold binds the soya beans into a compact white cake. Tempeh fermentation also produces natural antibiotic agents which are thought to increase the body's resistance to intestinal infections. This cake, where the beans are still visible, can be marinated, stewed, fried or boiled. Next is tofu. Tofu, also known as soybean curd, is a soft cheese-like food made by curdling fresh hot soya milk with a coagulant. Traditionally, the curdling agent used to make tofu is nigari, a compound found in natural ocean water, or calcium sulfate, a natural mineral. Curds can also be produced by acidic foods like lemon juice or vinegar. The curds are generally pressed into solid blocks. It is used in a similar way to tempeh. Now next, coming to soya meat. This looks similar to meat, has a similar consistency and a nutritional value similar to meat, but is cheaper to buy. It can be bought in tins and in a dried form. Dried soya bean must be soaked before use. It can be marinated, coated in breadcrumbs, fried, deep fried or used in stews. Pulses are judged on the following points. The shape and size must be identical. The color should be regular and characteristic of the type. The fruits should not be mouldy or smell musty. They should have an unblemished, soft and thin skin. They should have a high purity ratio, and the fruit should not be contaminated by beetles. All pulses should be sorted by size, color and quality. The legal demand for the correct naming and hallmark is set out in the Pulses Decree of 1985. Now next, moving on to the price of the various types of pulses. The price of the various types is dependent on the size and the harvest, the quality and the form that they are sold in. It may be dried, tinned, potted or deep frozen. Normally, the product is more expensive and the larger the seeds become. The size has no influence on the flavor or the nutritional value. Now next, coming to the treatment of pulses in the kitchen. The handling of pulses in the kitchen is separated into three phases, that is, the delivery of pulses to the kitchen, the storage and finally the preparation. Firstly, coming to the delivery of pulses to the kitchen. Special attention should be paid to the following, that is, the type of pulses delivered match the order form, the correct amount has been delivered and that the quality is satisfactory. Next comes the storage of pulses. Dried pulses are best stored in good airtight packaging in a cool, dry and dark storage area. They can be stored for maximal 1 year. Under the influence of light, moisture and heat, beans can germinate. Pulses discolor when stored in light. If they are stored in a damp or humid area, they can become mouldy. Airtight containers will protect them from coming into contact with insects or rodents. Pulses in tins or jars can be stored for a year or longer. In glass jars, they should be stored in a dark storage to avoid light discoloring the product through the glass. Deep frozen varieties should not be stored for more than a month at a temperature of -18 degrees centigrade. And the details of the packaging should be checked. Now coming to the preparation of pulses. Pulses can be cooked in the water they are soaked in or in fresh water. During soaking, a percentage of the vitamin B dissolves in the water and it is therefore better to use this water to cook beans and peas that are cooked for soup. Salt should not be added to the cooking water as this will encourage the pulses to burst open and break down during cooking. Pulses contain more protein than any other plant. They serve as a low-cost protein to meet the needs of the large section of the people. They have therefore been justifiably described as the poor man's meat. Their low moisture content and hard test or seed coat permit storage over long periods. In addition to providing dry pulses, many of the crops are grown for their green edible pods and unripe seeds. Now next, coming to the natural benefits and curative properties of pulses. The nutritive properties of pulses resemble in many respects to those of the whole grain cereals, but there are important differences. First, the pulse protein is low in sulfur containing amino acids but rich in lysine, in which many cereals are deficient. A combination of pulses and cereal proteins may therefore have a nutritive value as good as animal proteins. Secondly, pulses as a class are good sources of the B group of vitamins except riboflavin. Most important, the greater part of these vitamins present in the harvested seeds is actually consumed. There are no losses comparable with those that may arise in the milling and cooking of cereals. Pulses are therefore an excellent preventive against beriberi. Thirdly, although pulses like cereal grains are devoid of vitamin C, large amounts of ascorbic acid are formed on germination. Sprouted pulses are therefore an important food which will protect against scurvy. Now coming to the uses of pulses. Pulses are used as a common foodstuff in various forms. Pulses, dehusked, decorticated and whole seed are used as dal and taken with chapatis and cooked rice. Whole seeds take longer time to cook than the dehusked and decorticated ones, which are relatively better digestible. Pulses are also commonly used in the form of flour such as that of Bengal gram, green gram, black gram known as besan. It is used for mixing with cereal flour in various proportions for chapatis and other preparations. The practice of utilizing germinated seed or sprouting or young seedlings of pulses as a fresh vegetable is widespread in the Orient. The storage of dried seed and their sprouting as required enables a continuous supply of fresh vegetable material to be produced. There is an amazing increase in nutrients in sprouted pulses when compared to their dry embryo. In the process of sprouting, the vitamins, minerals and protein increase substantially with corresponding decrease in calories and carbohydrate content.